Okay, everybody, welcome back. We got another good show for you tonight. This is the Tommy Williams, the Tommy Williams Show. We've been having some great segments and also some great music, some entertainment and things, and we have a great show for you. Today, I want to bring on a special guest. It's actually family, and he's a very, very multifaceted, talented fella. He goes by the name of Lamont Ferguson. So without further ado, I want to bring on Lamont. Lamont, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's happening? What's happening? Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Super, man. Super. So,
Good.
Lamont, where are you located, man? Tell the folks.
I'm in the great city of Portsmouth, Virginia. Pronounced Portsmouth, but it's spelled Portsmouth.
Portsmouth. Yeah, that's right. That's right, folks.
Yeah.
They have some, they're noted for the hams, right? And what's down there, man?
Man, this area is actually known for music. Musical talent. Missy Elliott is from this area, so she's a huge entertainer. For the surrounding areas, you have Timberland and you have Teddy Riley, Pharrell Williams, Eclipse. So it's a plethora of entertainers that's in this area.
And then we got you, man. The gem, the best kept secret. And I got a hold of you.
I'm Nicole, you know what I mean? The precious Cole, the hidden diamond, you know? Yes, sir.
All right. Well, welcome to the show, man. So, this COVID and this pandemic that we're going through, man, I'm glad that it hasn't left you shy of being upbeat and as vivacious as you normally are, man. You always have a good spirit and energy about yourself. And I'm glad I found you smiling and hoping that the family and the family in good health. As you know, this show is based, as I told you, on the pandemic, talking about all the nuances of the pandemic, and we want to weigh in with just layman's and find out testimonies and things like that on just the average Joe. In this case, the average Lamont. So,
yes.
so I want to find out what's going on in your area, man, and how are people prevailing and holding out with the CDC regulations and COVID in itself.
Everybody's holding out pretty good. There's still a lot of people catching it. They're actually doing the testing is huge in this area right now. I actually work as a teacher assistant at a local high school, so I got my first shot. So I have my first shot. Yeah.
Now, did the district
Yes, they took care of that. So I take my next shot on the 17th of this month.
Beautiful.
Very well-oiled machine. They check your ID at the front door. I mean, they really check your ID about 3 or 4 times throughout the process to make sure you are who you say you are.
Yeah.
All the safety precautions are in place. Once you go through, they have you sit down in these different rows, and the minute you get up, they wiping it down for the next person. So it's a well-oiled machine, and once you get your shot taken, they send you to another little area, a holding area where you sit for 15 minutes to make sure you don't pass out, no swelling on the throat or anything like that. And once you're 15 minutes up, you just go on about your business.
Wow. At least they give you a nice cup of orange juice on your way out the door?
That they didn't. I had to supply my own orange juice. Portsmouth, Virginia, I had to drink my own orange juice.
Well, listen, man. Any prerequisites or anything like that? Any predetermining factors? Like, okay, so you have a certain age or anything like that? Is there anybody who goes up front before anybody else, or is it just a free for all if you're in education?
No, it's not a free for all. There are some limitations because actually I work for the school system. They took care of that, and then you have a age restriction as well. So like the kids, I believe under 16 aren't getting them right now. So you have, I believe CVS, Walgreens. I forgot there's a couple other locations that's doing the shots as well. And actually, Cynthia got her, my wife, Cynthia, she got hers today. My mom-in-law got hers today. Well, and then actually my mother in Detroit she got hers. She's already taken her second shot. So well, I'm mentioning everybody now, but as far as in this area, um, they're getting the shots done. They're getting them done, which is good.
That's fantastic.
Mhm.
Fantastic, man. Well, what is the version of the shot? Who's backing
Moderna.
this?
I have
Moderna. Okay.
Moderna. Yeah. So I took the shot in my right arm. Some of the effects that I actually received was the soreness of my arm for about 2 to 3 days, literally. That same night of my shot, when I went to bed, I had the chills. So it felt like I had the flu for a second, like literally
Yeah.
like the whole night. And I had like come on, but I was freezing. So I had the
Mm.
chills for about a little over a day. And then tapered off. So hopefully the next shot I won't have all of those effects. Just be able to take it and just be able to move about my business. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
rough. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a blessing that you were able to get it, man. I mean,
Yes.
those seem like they're really sought after shots. I know that different schools, especially different districts, they're doing things based on age or pre-existing conditions and things of that nature. So that's good. So apparently, I guess high school students are getting them too. I mean, as long as you're
Not
above
yet.
16,
They're
if you're older.
not, but they're talking about it, but they haven't
Oh,
done it actually.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, so in terms of the local government, so schools are they open or what's going on with schools there?
So right now we're on Zoom. This area, the Portsmouth area, we're on Zoom. They actually had a meeting today at 5:30, so I don't know the results of that. But uh, my school, we had a meeting earlier today, and there's that teachers will be going back to the classrooms and teaching Zoom from there. So they kind of doing it in steps. So the teachers will be in the building soon, doing Zoom from the classroom instead of home. And they're going to try to phase in the kids, the elementary and the middle schools first. Then they'll try to phase in the high school students.
So they've
Because
been off. So pretty much the whole school year they've been at home. Everybody's been home since
at
the beginning.
home. Yep. Since
Wow.
October. Yeah. So
Wow. So
homeschooling the kids and homeschooling myself all
yeah,
at, all at the same time.
isn't
Yes.
that something? Do your
Mhm.
kids attend your school where you are?
Well, my oldest does. Imani, she's 16. She runs track for the school that I work at.
Oh,
Then you
okay.
have my middle child, Adrian, is 13, so she's in middle school, and then Rihanna, she's 7, she's in elementary. So we have
How
one
are
on
they?
each level.
How are they conducting the interscholastic events and things?
They actually just started doing track practice and stuff because it was off and on for a long time. They're
Yeah.
going, having practice, then off of practice. But the basketball team, they had a late season. The football team had a late season. The track team actually, they've been having some meets, not all the schools, and then their Martin Norcom will be actually participating in a cross country. So, and all these events, of course, are delayed. They have, for God's sakes, football on this side of the year. You know what I mean? Because usually it's in
Yeah.
the fall.
Well,
So
that's
they actually,
fantastic that they have the kids back at least. I mean, for nothing more than socialization and being around one another. I mean, it's
yeah,
nice.
and I
Never
think
mind the sportsmanship. Right now, we got to get back to the basics. Just
so.
I mean, everything is actually a social distance and all that. But it's good that that they're allowing the kids to at least engage in some sort
And
of activity.
and I think that's very, very important. Of course, academics are important, but the socialization the kids are missing. Yeah, it's good to be around family, but you learn
Yeah.
certain things from your friends. How to maintain relationships and friendships and all that other stuff. You can't do
Yes.
that. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. What about the local government? I mean, they have a lot of the stores and local businesses open, or what's
A
happening with
lot of
that?
them are open. They are opening up. You just got to maintain your social distance. as well as you have to have on a mask going into these establishments.
Mhm.
As far as, in my arena, the comedy clubs are starting to open up. The Funny Bone actually has been putting on the shows for like, I think, last month or so. So
That's in the
they're,
Tidewater area,
yes,
Funny
that's
Bone?
actually in Virginia Beach. Yes. So
Okay.
yeah, the two comedy clubs in this area is the Funny Bone, which is in Virginia Beach, and Cosby's Comedy Club, which I'm always at. That's in Newport News, Virginia. So they haven't been opened up yet because they're a little smaller establishment, but the Funny Bone has opened up to I think like 50% capacity. So everything is really spaced out and things of that nature. So they just making sure everybody come and have a good time, a safe good time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, man. That's nice. Well, so you got your shots, the local government. I mean, was that when you were doing the vaccine? Was everybody on board as soon as it came out, or were you a
No,
little bit reluctant, or how did that thought
no,
process go through?
people are still not on board with the shots because they feel that most like a lot of major illnesses are not um, haven't found cures for major illnesses like cancer, all kind of stuff. And they're like, well, how
Yeah.
can if this one is killing all these people? How did you get this cure in 1 year?
Hmm.
So then there's a lot of blacks aren't doing it for various obvious reasons. So people are still not comfortable because it's so soon. How can they,
Yeah.
how can you come up with this that's killed millions of people, and you came up with a cure right away? But yet, cancer's been around for years. AIDS has been around for years. Even the flu has been around for years, and you really don't really you take the flu shot, but still people still are having still end up getting sick. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so this particular one, you're able to do it in a year or less than a year.
Mhm.
So people were pretty skeptical about it.
Yeah. Now you all have they have ships going out of Newport News and the area, right? What's
Yes.
going on with the maritime life, like over there at the ports?
They still working. They, like I said, a lot of a lot of establishments and businesses are still functioning. They just making sure they're clean and being social distance. And if anything have a breakout, they shut the whole ship down. Actually, they just had a breakout, not a breakout, but one of the ships at the Norfolk shipyard.
Mhm.
An employee had COVID. One employee had COVID on the whole ship, and they shut it down. Uh,
Jeez.
yeah, so a lot of shipyard workers, I'm not sure if they received paid for the day, but it got shut down until they, got that person, out,
Yeah.
situated.
At
Yeah.
least they try to isolate the issue, which is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. Immediately.
That's very important. So now you mentioned the comedy clubs, and I know that you're into comedic relief, and so
Yes.
what? So now and also an actor. So tell us a little something about yourself and how it's affected you outside, because I know you're involved with a lot of things. Just education is just one of the many facets of who Lamont Ferguson is, everybody. And so I want to find out, Lamont, how has your alter ego been affected?
It's been affected in a huge way.
Yeah.
I was on the road a lot. And actually I jumped in. I've been doing comedy for 8 years. I'm 47, so I've been acting since middle school. Um, I just went into it full time in August of 2019. Had everything set up, insurance, make sure everybody covered before I jump into this thing full time. I was on the road. Actually, I was substitute teaching, just to have income coming in. Ohio, New York, West Virginia, Michigan, New Jersey, like all over the place. And I had bookings all the way up to the end of 2020, pre-COVID, and it cut all of that out. So I actually end up going back to work because everything dried up. You know, I couldn't travel. You know, because of COVID.
Yeah.
So, you know, so
I know a lot of sets probably shut down because of
yeah,
that, right?
a lot
Productions.
of it shut down. But so I was just doing like private events here and there. You know, like a party of 25, and just a little bit. You know, of course, you entertain whether it's 5 or 5,000, but it just cut me down to just a few gigs here and there. So I end up going back to punch a clock. That's how, you know, so now I do a lot of writing. I have a channel now, which is called Fresh Option TV. It's on Roku TV and Amazon Fire TV. So have Until Death Do Us Part. That's a project that I wrote, is a dramedy. Deals with the autism. Then we have Next, which is a comedy, it's a sitcom, and that's directed by my partner Ronald Lindsay, and we have some sketches up there. And then I'm also producing another show called The Cafe, and it's on the line of Cheers, but it actually surrounds 4 women. So
No way.
yeah, so we're actually in production, and actually we're in pre-production right now. So we'll be going to production later this month, beginning April. So I
Oh,
got
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
So been doing a lot of
Staying busy, you know, still exercising your creative juices and stuff like that, which is important. Staying upbeat is important. I know you have kids and things, so that's always a lot of energy and positive energy,
absolutely,
just all
absolutely.
kinds of energy in the household.
Yes, all
Keep
girls,
things scrambled
all
up.
girls. So I don't have any sons, so all girls. So they always clawing at each other. So
Yeah,
there's a lot of material out of that as well.
sure.
Hmm.
That's fantastic, man. Well, you know, any takeaways? I mean, you know, now have you or any family members, have you had COVID yourself, or have you
No,
experienced
I
something?
haven't. We know we have family members that had contracted COVID. So they had to isolate themselves off, you know, off in the distance. But as far as immediate family, no one
That's
has.
super.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's a
Yeah.
blessing, man. I'm so glad that you all got the shot. And, you know,
Hmm.
I do believe that, you know, we as a nation are heading in a positive direction,
Hmm.
all the way from the administration to, you know, modern medicine and what the chemists are taking care of now. I think that now they have a chance to kind of focus on their craft. And I
Hmm.
think that it shows by all the different vaccines that are coming out, you know, these days. You know, we're not just stuck with one. We actually have options now.
Hmm. And
So,
another thing in regards to the local government. So like far as the kids that's on Zoom, now this is pretty interesting that they're going to be doing Zoom up until maybe June,
yes.
and then so maybe they'll get back into the classroom full term. I mean, everybody by like September.
Oh,
So
good.
like you said, that progress is there. To get the
Yeah.
kids back and just to get back to get out of saying the new norm and just make it the norm. Because the more you say the new norm, bless you, the more you say the new norm, it still puts a stigma on it, like it's not going to change. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not be cured, but you just focus on the norm, and this is what we got to do to live. We got to put on a mask, go have fun. That's just
Yeah.
what you got to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of materials and things, I know you said your kids were out since the start of the school year. Were they able to gather any things from the school, like any books and things, or is
Computers,
everything
yeah,
online?
yeah. They have all. They got materials from school. Everyone, the elementary school have tablets. The middle school and high schoolers, they have computers, so they can log on from home. So, and then the families that don't have internet access, they actually furnish them with like hotspots so they can get online.
Oh, good. That's nice.
Yeah.
Super. Now, what about the older kids, or in the young kids, in terms of the state assessments and things? Are they gonna still run them this year, or are they gonna? I know they
They
pull them back
actually,
in some
yeah,
states.
which is the standards of learning, the SOL, they're still running those. Some of the 12th graders that's going to try to get into college, they still taking SATs. They're supposed to be minimizing the SAT. I think there's a portion of the SAT that they don't have to take. I think I forgot exactly which one. I think it's the SAT. It's one of the parts of the SAT that they don't have to take. They just, I guess, they try to make it easier since they're not at school to get that training or whatever they need.
Wow. Yeah, there certainly is a deficiency going on in education these days, you know, and I know educators are doing the best they can, and, you know, states are trying to, you know, make sure everybody's on the same playing field, and trying to think of the best practices in light of all these regulations and requirements that are here for an undetermined amount of time. It seems like we're starting to, you know, we're picking up the pace. You know, hopefully we don't do anything abrupt, like start opening things up too fast and getting people too loose and comfortable, because my understanding is that, you know, nothing is guaranteed. Do you still wear your mask?
I do.
I mean, yeah. And people in the family, you know, that have had the shot and things, nobody's getting too cavalier about it. Everybody's still tightening up. And
still people tightening up. But of course, in the city, you see people without their mask in Walmart and stuff like that. The major retailers, they don't really monitor it. Like Walmart, you walk in Walmart and you don't have to have, you know, they won't say, they may have somebody that say put on your mask, but people still walk past and not have their mask on. So you have to be cautious, and, you know, you have to take care of yourself and your family, you know, make sure you keep your mask on. You know, my thing is, if you don't agree with it, I get it. That's just, you know, that person's view. But, you know, it's protecting you, you know, so.
Absolutely. So now listen, so I know I had spoken to you and I said, you know, do you mind doing a little something for, you know, off the cuff with some comedic relief? You know, this is also, so, you know, it's up to you. I mean, we were definitely talking about a serious situation, but, you know, myself, I'm a little bit like, I got some issues, so I can transition off from happy to sad in a blink of an eye. So if you don't mind, if you want to do anything to kind of bring some humor to this scene, I would love to have some comedic relief.
There's some things that I've realized during COVID. I realized that I watch a lot of television. I like late night television. I found out that there's a lot of commercials geared towards men. I saw a generic Viagra commercial. It said 50% off your erection. Like, who wants a partial erection? That's just ridiculous. You want to save that much money? You just want to have erect? That's ridiculous. And then I saw another commercial. It was actually a phone sex commercial, and it said, "We got white girls, press 1. We got black girls, press 2." I was like, "How would this conversation work?" White girls, press 1. "Hey, big boy, I'm feeling all over your body." No, that's boring. Black girls, press 2. "Hey, big boy, hold on. Wait, sit your ass down. Can't you see him on the phone?" That's how you get 50% off your erection. That's how that would happen. Another thing I realized, COVID has been a negative thing in most part because people lost their life. I'm very sensitive to that. But it also made me realize that, like, I really have, like, 3 kids, like 3 girls, like all girls, like they always at each other. Like, I realize now that kids need school. I realized also that I have my master's degree. I thought I was smart until I started doing their homework. Like, now they need to go back to school. Like, I'm doing like fractions. I didn't realize I don't know fractions. I can't do fractions. Now my daughter that's 7 knows that I can't do fractions. Like before COVID, take it back to your school.
Lean on your teacher. Go ahead. I know it, but go ahead.
Teacher looked at it. I can't do that. I gotta Google fractions. How to subtract fractions. This is ridiculous. And then I also noticed why people don't like the mask. They realize that their breath really stinks. They realize that their breath has been stinking the whole time. Like when you go to church, they say, you know, the person next to them, they breast stink. No, it was them the whole time. You know what I'm saying? COVID has made me realize a lot of things. Also, before I finish, I did some temp agency work last summer. Okay.
Yes.
And this is pretty interesting. You take this little battery of tests, and then I had to take a drug test online, and it had some interesting questions. It had, how often do you do marijuana? How often? And it said yes, you know, it said 10%, 20% of the time, 50% of the time, and 100% of the time. How have marijuana affected your work? I don't smoke, so there's no 0% of time, you know. So I have to put 5% of the time. Like, you're making me into a drug addict. Like, then it said, how often do you allow cocaine interfere with your work? 5% of the time, 10% of the time, 20% of the time, and 100% of the time. Now I'm a coke addict because I have to put 5%. Like, and then if it's 100% of the time, how come you are at a temp agency anyway? Like, if you got that much money to spend on coke at 100% of the time, you don't even need a temp job. Like, why? You know, this is ridiculous. Then the last one is said, how often do you allow heroin to interfere with your work? 5% of the time, 10% of the time, 20% of the time, 100% of the time. Like, if you're doing heroin, you don't have any teeth. So I can't even lie. You know what I'm saying? So all the person do is smile, and the truth is be out there. The point of it is, I didn't even have an opportunity to say I don't do drugs. So this temp agency, that means everybody do drugs. So if you want to work with that temp agency, you can do drugs and pass the drug test. That's all I'm saying.
Wow. Wow.
And this is true. This is true.
Amazing, man. Amazing. So I know, listen, life in itself gives you probably plenty of ideas and work and things to kind of segue off to with some comedic relief and stuff, and, you know, just some ideas, because you just look around. I'm sure you go into Walmart, you probably see a whole bunch of things that you could just, you know, get at.
It's I think
you got work all around you.
I think COVID has messed a lot of people's mind up, because you see people, not just people. At first, it was just white people you see at Walmart in pajama pants. Now you see black folks, older folks in Walmart with pajama pants. Like, why are you wearing your pajamas to Walmart? Like, and then the same pajamas that you're wearing at Walmart is right there on the rack. Like, they gonna think you stole them pajamas. Like, this is ridiculous. It's a lot of stuff going on, and what I think is really, really interesting, and it's funny, but it's not. Like, these people are literally fighting the employees that's making them put on the mask. Like, why are you fighting? You put it on if you don't like it, and then you walk out, you know. And see, like, I got my personalized one. This is my look what that say. I am Ferg.
Yeah.
I am Ferg. You know, that's my personal one. Like, so when they say, "Who are you?" That's me. I'm Ferg. You know what I mean?
I am Ferg. Yeah, yeah. Very nice.
But
very nice, man.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you what. I know we got to get out of here, but although COVID has, you know, took me away from one arena, it's put me into another arena to allow me to write more, to allow me, you know, to network more with other people, and write this next show that we done. That we working on, develop a channel. So it took me out of one arena and put me into another one. So I try to focus on the positive. Also allow me to spend more time with my little ladies, my wife. So and that's another thing, you know, COVID made me realize that I'm married with 3 girls, and it's just like, this is real. This is real life stuff. Like, you know, because when you're working, like, yeah, I have a wife and kids, and, you know, but when you're around 24, like, this is this is real. So I want to start giving like a marriage advice. Like, you better be careful what you ask for. You know, be ready for what you pray for. Like, you praying for this wife. Like, are you ready for this, son? Be around her 24/7. See where it gets you.
That's right.
No, I love all three of them. You know, not all three of my wives. All three of my children and my wife. I love all of them all dearly. So
very
they
nice,
give me material all the time.
You're a good dad, man. I've seen your work, you and your wife, man. You have beautiful kids, beautiful family, man. I'm so glad you took the time to come on the show. I want to wish you all the best, you know, and you know, stay safe. You're quite the role model too, man, and keep that work coming, because you're a very, very funny dude, and we need you out there. We need to laugh more. We need to laugh more and cry less, and just stay strong as a nation. So I'm so glad you came on, and take care of yourself. And again, thanks for joining in the Tommy Williams Show. We'll have your information plugged in so people can know how to get at you and everything. If you want to say anything to them in terms of your address or how they can find you, that'd be great too.
Absolutely. You can find me at the local 7-Eleven just to get away from my house for a little bit. No, I'm just joking. No, you can find me on Facebook as Lamont Ferguson, because there is another comedian that's out in California. His name is Lamont Ferguson. So you have to put in Lamont Ferguson. I'm also on Instagram, TikTok. I do a bunch of TikTok videos now. So I'm under the same thing on TikTok as I am Ferg1. And my website is www.freshoptiontv.com. So you can find me in all those locations. So don't poke me in real life. Just poke me on Facebook. You know what I mean? Don't touch me.
There you go. Very good, man. Thanks for coming on, man. You take care of yourself, all right? Okay, brother, man.
All right.
Take care. Thank you. So here we are, still at episode number 14, and I just want to go ahead and introduce another great talent. We just finished up leaving a little bit of comedic relief with Lamont Ferguson coming in from Portsmouth, Virginia, Portsmouth, and he is in the building. And now we're going to move back up the coast, the Northeast corridor, to Jersey. In the building, we got our buddy Kimo, who's riding with us with the skin. He's got his palsy wowsies with him, and he's ready to go ahead and show us something. But he's going to bring us in with some music, and then we're going to go ahead and get into discussion, everybody. Here's Kimo. Man, that stuff was like like a cartoon, like everything was going. Your hands, man, you're fast. Absolutely. Beautiful, man. Great to have you on the show.
My name is Kimo Solis. I am a Latin percussionist, and I've been working Latin percussion for over 30 years. You can Google me, you can YouTube me, and you can see more of what I do. Kimo, K-I-M-O-S-O-L-I-S. Been doing it for a very long time. Love the Conga drums. They have a lot of history. I've done a lot of salsa gigs, done a lot of Latin jazz gigs, which is what I do best, is Latin jazz salsa. And I also like to do a lot of American music type music, because I think that when you combine the Latin percussion with a kit drummer like Carlos Santana, like Miami Sound Machine Gloria Estefan, like Earth, Wind and Fire, it just brings it to another level. So I'm the guy that brings that spice into the gigs, into the shows, and I'm a diplomat, if I may, of this instrument, and I like to educate people about it.
Fantastic, man. And there's a lot of people out there who have the time to learn right now because COVID is upon us.
Absolutely.
And so many people are doing so many things that they would never have seen themselves doing before. Do you find that you're doing things a little differently, being that we're going through this pandemic?
Say again?
Are you
Say
doing
again?
anything differently? Do you find that you're doing some things a little differently than
Well,
you
you know, I
had
have
been
the
prior
time
to
to
COVID?
stay home. I have this time to stay home, and you know, you never stop learning. You never stop learning. And he who says that knows everything and knows every rhythm and knows everything about music is incorrect. Because there's people like Thelonious Monk, Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, who I'm a big fan of, and I'll get to him in a little while. Uh, those are the pioneers. And you really have to go back. You have to go back and you have to read. You have to read. Reading is fundamental. You have to read. You have to listen and talk to your elders. Talk to people who are a little bit more older and wiser than you, and take all that in. And once you take all that in, and you listen to people who are doing things now, and you listen to people who did things then you bring it and you make it your own. And that's very important. Learning your roots is fundamental. And that's one of the things that I've been doing, and I'm sure that other people have been doing also now with the pandemic, not to mention the fact that we're not working, but we're not going to touch that. You go back, you read. You know, I'm a big fan of YouTube, and something I tell my wife all the time. If I had to pay $100 a week for YouTube, I would do it, because there is my vehicle to learn about Dizzy, to learn about Charlie, to learn about Thelonious Monk, and to learn about all these wonderful Latin jazz artists, including Chano Pozo, who is the Afro-Cuban conga player that came in the 1940s from Cuba to the United States. And he brought this wonderful instrument with him called, the name of this instrument is really called a tumbadora, but it's gotten a revised name. It's called the Conga Drum. And he was the pioneer to bring the Conga Drum to the United States in the early 1940s from Cuba. He had a relationship with Dizzy Gillespie. Dizzy loved him and he loved Dizzy. He toured with Dizzy all over the world, and he was the pioneer, if I may, of bringing the Latin jazz music into the world nationally. And one of the tunes that is that people play and know, and is one of the first Latin. I may not be the first. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty much sure that it's one of the first Latin jazz tunes. It's called Manteca. That's a Manteca tune. It's one of the first Latin jazz tunes done by Dizzy Gillespie and Chano Pozo. Dizzy Gillespie being African American and Chano Pozo being Afro-Cuban. They met, they had a wonderful relationship, and as a result, here we are.
Here we are. Listen, let me tell you this. You mentioned, and you were really, really hitting it home that, you're pulling from pretty much the universe, and that's pretty much where we are right now. You're like extracting, you're pulling in from all ends, and people who are here and people who aren't, because a lot of times, that's what we need. And there's people who've passed on, and that's what we're doing right now. I think as a globe, as the world turns, we're reaching out our hand, we're reaching out for strength, because right now we're going through things that we've never experienced before. And I know that the numbers are up, down here in South Florida. They go up, they go down. They're constantly doing their things. I like to, a lot of times I don't find myself gravitating towards the television because, the numbers and things, a lot of times you want to hear testimony, and that's what I want to hear. What are your experiences personally with COVID? Have you had it? Have you encountered it?
It's funny you say that. I work with a gentleman called Matty D. He's an acoustic guitar player. Him and I play together, and we do Gypsy King stuff. He's an acoustic guitar. I'm on the box drum, which I don't have here. I do have here, but I can't show you right now. Maybe I can. I'll let you know in a second. I don't want to mess up the angle of the camera. But we did a job, and I also did a job with one of the two companies who I work with, Unique Music Entertainment and Dasher Class Entertainment. And I did a job with Unique. It was a little weird, man, because it was at a barn. It was at a barn, in a barn, because it needed to be outside. And the barn has access to opening up the doors and whatnot, and they dressed it up really nice. And usually at the tables, they have little gifts. Right? When you go to a wedding, they have gifts and souvenirs. And at that wedding, they had hand sanitizer. It was a little weird to me. Also, everyone was with a mask. And we also had like a rope like a bank rope, if I may, a bank rope where the guests weren't allowed to come back to us. They set up stages, so the percussionist had a stage, the sax player had a stage, the DJ had a stage, and I'll get into the DJ and percussion in a bit, and the MC had a stage. So they had us 6 to 10 feet apart. And there wasn't a lot of people. You know, now they're up to 150 people, but back then I'm going to say there were maybe 60 to 50 people.
Yeah.
So it was up in the barnyard, and there's always.
Do you find yourself working with a lot of virtual audiences now?
Much more than before, which I'm not a big fan of, because in music you really have to feel the music. You have to feel. When Dan and I work together, we feel each other. And if you're not there, it's not the same.
Yeah, sure.
But
sure.
we adjust to our surroundings.
Yes.
We don't have a choice.
Absolutely.
3 different drums tuned to the piano. They're tuned different. A lot of people think they're tuned the same. No, they're not. They're not. You make melodies and you make rhythms. For example, if I make a disco beat, right? Now you have a melody. If you do a salsa beat, salsa beat. With 3 drums, you're able to make melodies. You develop your left hand and your right hand, depending if your predominant hand is the right or the left, and they fill up and they make a beautiful sound. Now, if you see here, I also have a shakery. We could incorporate a shakery to the rhythms, make it sound fuller. I also have a pair of bongos, if I may, that you can incorporate that into the rhythms as well. And back here, you see, I don't know if you can see these drums back here.
Yep.
Those drums are ethnic Bata drums from Cuba, from the religious tribe from Nigeria, Yoruba religion called Santeria. And these are the Santeria Yoruba tribe ethnic drums. And he who transfers from the Conga drum to the Bata drum, B-A-T-A, has won his, or gained his, if I may, his masters. So when you go from Conga drumming to Bata drumming, and if you see a guy like my mentor, God bless him, and he's still alive, Chambo Corneal, he is a master drummer. He is very well versed on the Bata drum, on the Conga drum, and on the bongo. Let me just say that Latin percussion, if I may, Latin percussion is really 3 drums, 3 types of drums. You have the bongo drum, that's one type of Latin percussion. You have the conga drum, which is what I have here, and you have the timbales, which are played with sticks. And one of my mentors that passed away, Mr. Tito Puente,
hey,
he is a master timbal player. I don't have the timbales here. So when you say I'm a Latin percussionist, you have to be able to play the timbales, the congas, and the bongos. Now, if you want to move up and get your masters, then you move up to the bata.
Wow, that's heavy, man.
Heavy.
I really know. Now I see how 30 years can really incorporate a lot of information.
I'm going to say that I started playing. They recruited me at a high school, and when I was 17, and I started playing. I say I'm professional, or you say you're professional when they start paying you for playing. So while I was in high school, I got recruited. I started playing with different bands, and I had the opportunity to go to Cuba twice. This instrument is Cuban. And I'm going to reiterate that the conga drum is Cuban.
Now, are they connected?
African per se, but I'm not going to get too much into it. When it was brought over to the Caribbean, Cuba enhanced it.
Very nice. How long have you had that set? That's a beautiful set.
This is a custom set. They're LP. I don't know if you see these. They were in Garfield, New Jersey. They were made out of Garfield, New Jersey. this gentleman right here, who I think is absolutely awesome. I have his book right here. I don't know if you see it. This is his book. He's not paying me for this, by the way. His name is Martin Cohen. This is a very interesting book about how the Conga drum and light percussion evolved in the United States. I'm very fortunate to have a picture in here. I'm gonna go in here and show you that I'm in here as well. I don't know if you can see me. I'm right around there somewhere. I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate to be in there with all the master Latin percussionists nationally. And these drums were made especially for me. I'm gonna go out here and maybe I can focus in and you see that they have my name on them.
Yes, very nice.
And these are custom made for me from the wonderful, awesome Latin percussion company. These people make absolutely awesome Latin percussion instruments.
Hey,
they're awesome. And I've had these for quite a while, and they sound great.
Absolutely. I mean, even through the technology right now, they sound awesome, man. It's amazing.
Yes, and I got these wonderful heads. I don't know if you can see them.
They're very nice.
Very nice. So I've had the blessing. I'm very fortunate to work with Dan. I'll tell you a little history. I got called for a job at the Brownstone, I believe, and Dan can correct me.
The Brownstone, sure.
You hear me?
Yep.
Dan can correct me. I was told there's a very talented sax player playing the cocktail at a DJ gig, and I think you would get along with him nicely. And I said, well, that remains to be seen. So when I went inside, I heard this guy. He sounded totally awesome. He actually was singing and playing and keeping people entertained. And I said, I like this guy. He's very jazzy and very entertaining. I love him. So I started. I don't think he even knew that I was going to jam out with him because he was too busy entertaining. So I went in and I took just two of the conga drums and I started playing. And he looked back and he said, "What the heck is this? How awesome is this?" And then we just hit it off and we played the cocktail and we played the wedding and we played many of them since then. And I'm very fortunate to have him as a friend and he's very talented. God bless you, brother. God bless you.
Can you hear me at all?
Yes, yes.
Oh, I just want to say thank you. You know, the feeling's equal. You are an amazing talent. God bless me to have friends like you who I'm proud to be associated with. You're
so
phenomenal.
Much for thank you for calling me today. I was very excited to hear from you.
He's not just a percussionist. He makes 5 sounds out of one drum. Out of each drum. Can't tell you the names in Espanol. I don't know the names. He's unbelievable.
Yes,
I was wondering, can Kimo and I play simultaneously? Will this program allow us to play simultaneously?
Well, we're gonna give it a shot. I know we have our awesome producers that can really make some magic happen. So this is what I'd suggested, and I would love to see happen. So we're gonna give it a whirl. I think we can do it, fellas.
My audio is not that clear, I must say.
How's my?
We heard you. Well, you want to do a sound check or anything, Danny, on your end? I hear you fantastic, Kimo, on over here with the.
Thank you much. Thank you so much. I have videos on YouTube. If anyone wants to go out there and fact check me, they can go on YouTube and look up Kimo Solis, and there's a bunch of stuff there that you can see that I've done.
The real McCoy.
I'm the real McCoy. I'm the real McCoy. Yeah.
All right. All right. So so let me see if we. You know what? I have a feeling like if you do something, then you'll do it, and then Danny will come in and he could blow or do whatever have you, and it'll go back and forth like a transfer.
That sounds great.
Nice. Wow.
I could hear.
Fantastic. Great having you on board, man.
You hear that? That's the moose call, I call it.
Isn't that something?
I call it the moose call. You have to motion your finger. I love it.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. We'll be seeing these guys more often. I'll tell you, this is super, guys. I mean, just for the sake of the segment and everything, it sounded awesome. You know, I mean, this is what it's all about. I mean, you know, this pandemic has had people just home searching stuff, Googling stuff, and this is just amazing. Another piece of work just out there to entertain people while they're going through the rough time that they really, we don't see any end in sight. Did you get a vaccine, or how do you feel about the vaccine?
Well, I was talking to one of my fellow musicians. I believe that when it's available to us, and I kind of cracked a joke about it. I said, I heard today that the homeless will be getting the vaccine next. So I'm saying, where do the musicians lie on all this? Are we like in the back burner? When are we going to get the vaccine? When are we allowed? And I think that musicians are important, because when you go into your car, what's the first thing you do? You turn on the radio, right?
Yeah.
And you put on your favorite radio station, and you listen to your tunes, and that kind of eases you out, and is a kind of a therapeutic type thing, right? And so if we're so important to the community and everybody, not just any kind of music, I believe that we got to get taken care of first. Listen, take care of musicians, man, because they're going to have to.
Hey, they call it the magic of music for a reason, man. It heals the soul. Heals the soul. Everybody has their choice of genre, but you know, I'm telling you, you're absolutely right. And
you know that a musician can be in Germany, in Russia, in Poland, in Spain, or where I was born in Puerto Rico. The music is all the same. When they put the chart in front of you, it's an international language, man. You know, we're all musicians. Music is music, whether it's polka, funk, salsa, or reggaeton. Music is music, man. And a true musician can play any genre. And I like to play any genre, whether it's on my conga drums, timbales, bongos, bata, box drum, whatever the case may be. Music is music. So with that said, I think it's very important for us to get vaccinated as soon as possible, because soon enough, there are going to be catering halls, there are going to be stadiums, there are going to be restaurants where they're going to say, wait a minute, if you don't show me that you've been vaccinated, we won't, you know, you're not allowed in. You're not going to be able to perform.
That's right. That's right.
Something, a requirement.
Yeah.
So I believe that that's something that every musician should look into, and entertainment companies as well. Listen, let's vaccinate so that we're allowed in, so we can perform, we're healthy, and we get paid, man.
Yep. You all the first ones in. You're bringing in the crowds anyway, so it's
very, very important.
Very,
so
very important.
I'm looking
We're
forward
dealing with a lot of people.
to getting vaccinated.
Yeah. What do you say, Danny?
We're always dealing with a lot of people. So
yeah,
always
absolutely.
around people.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, I had done a couple of jobs where there's people in the crowd that come up to me and they come up to Dan as well, because music is something, like you said, it's like within the soul, and it gets to people. And they've come up to me, and I had my mask on, and one time a gentleman came without his mask. It was later on in the evening, maybe he was feeling a little nice, and he came up to me. And now, how do I tell someone that's coming up to me without a mask to praise me, to praise my playing and or performance, to stand back, put on your mask, social distancing? It's kind of a little offensive, it's a little bit, so it's tough. But we're hoping that in the near future, everyone's vaccinated and we're not going to have that problem, man, because there's nothing better than mingling with the crowd and listen to what people think about your performance, man.
Yeah.
It's
I think that
because,
the planet's going to be so much warmer after this. We'll have so much appreciation for emotion and being able to get close and express ourselves. There's so many senses that we're not able to commit ourselves to at this time, and hey, that's unfortunately where we're at right now. But I think we're on an upward swing. It's just a matter of time. I think, like I said before, we have a lot of nuances going on, new things, and it's a renaissance going on within this pandemic. We're reborn and restructuring as we speak. So I think we're gonna make it, folks. We're gonna make it. I just want to say for those viewers, I do have Danny Rock Malowitz on. Danny D Rock. He was on episode 13, I believe it was 13, and he's back. And he's back, and so he came back in tandem to join us with Zemo, and so we're out here just pushing some entertainment out to you. I think it was great. Thank you very much, Dan, for coming on a second time. He'll be on again. Actually, we have something nice in store for you all, and I don't want to let it out the bag, let the cat out the bag. But what I will say is that it's awesome to have this kind of entertainment. It's great that people can get together with the thought of the people, of humanity in mind, and this is for you all. I mean, everybody's we are vigilant about taking care of ourselves, and I think that it's awesome that you fellas that took this time out of your lives, out of your safe lives, and trying to be safe for your families and things. And I really want to pray for the two of you, Ariane, and thank you so much for coming on and making this show even better than it was. So thank you so much, Zemo. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Kimo,
I
appreciate you being here, Kimo.
And I'm hoping that now, after our talk and our interview, more about Latin percussion.
And you know what? And I do want to, and I caught myself. I do want to say I've been saying Zemo because there was a fellow of mine. Danny and I are going to high school together, and there was Zemo Casadakis, and
Zemo.
Yeah, and I'm just saying because it's like a reunion with Kimo there in Jersey. And you right there in Jersey, man, I feel like I'm back up north without taking the flight and, having a mask up and stuff. It's great. You guys really give me a good sense of home, man, and togetherness. It's nice. I like your setups too, fellas. You look like you're real comfortable in your space at homes and but stay safe, and thanks again for taking the time out to come on the show, fellas. Thanks for your awesome talent, Kimo. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you very much.
This has been an awesome show, everybody. We had more than what we bargained for, right? I mean, generally I do a 2-guester, but this time we had a repeat guest. Danny Rock, D-Rock came back and offered us some music along with Kimo. They actually brought us home with this episode number 14 of the Tommy Williams Show with some fantastic music. It was just a just off the cuff collaboration, and I think they did an awesome job. We learned a lot about the congos and the different instruments and the sounds that they can make, from where they derived, and really had an educational and an enlightening experience, and still maintained our structure of the program with the content of COVID. Because you know what? It's all about music and togetherness and keeping yourself sane. I think it's time for us to have some more discussions with mental health specialists and kind of weigh in. And now I have some research. Now when a mental health specialist comes on, I can do I have done my research, and I see how the nation, how people are moving globally to keep themselves whole and mentally stable. So now I'd like to share out with a mental health specialist. So keep a lookout for the next couple of episodes. We'll be having a mental health specialist come back in. Also, I think I'd like to have some some doctors come in and give us their feedback on the numbers. And I know I have a person who actually administers the vaccine who has been knocking at my door trying to come in. So we have some great episodes up ahead. I just like to say thank you very much to Lamont Ferguson for coming on. Thank you very much. Lamont came in from Portsmouth, Virginia, Portsmouth. Very, very entertaining fella. And he's a wonder for the planet. And we need his energy so much. And thank you, Lamont. Thank you, Kimo, for coming on with all your information and all your expertise on the skins. And Danny, thanks for wrapping around and coming back to the show. We love you, man. And we so need your energy as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in on Tommy Williams, episode number 14. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you the next time. And by the way, everybody, I just want to say, again, you could find me on my channel with Peace all the time at Tommy Williams on YouTube. Tommy Williams on YouTube, home of Tommy Cats and the Super Cats. And we have a whole big variety of things. Last time I was on, I showed masks. This time I just happen to have a mug. And this is actually my morning time mug. Statement that I always make since I was a kid is morning time. And it goes like this: morning time. And the sailor in me is one of those ARG type things. And there's the mug right there on that side. And that's me. I love swimming and love the water. Actually, I came from the pool when I started my episode today. And the other side is down with the Tommy Cats. Okay, this is the morning time mugs. It could actually be found on teesprings.com. TEESPRINGS.com. And you could find the whole plethora of merchandise that I have there. I have hoodies, masks, t-shirts, and mugs, morning time mugs. So by all means, folks, please check me out on YouTube, Tommy Williams, and please also check out my fantastic merchandise. And as always, I'd like to thank Lux Media for this opportunity. They've been a fantastic operation, so professional and so warm. And I just like to say thank you very much for this platform. And thank you so much, folks. We'll see you next week. Thank you for joining me on episode number 14. Take care, God bless, and stay safe.
Now, glutathione is a big word, but it's the body's own master antioxidant. So it's a scavenger for free radicals, for bacteria, and what's relevant now, viruses. This is new to the marketplace. There's no other product on the market that has the ingredient NACET.
And basically NACET increases the production of that glutathione that is in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system and keep it strong. Elevated sense of well-being. Supports muscle strength and endurance. Cognitive function. Powerful liver support. Energy. Helps blood sugar regulation. Superior bioavailability of key ingredients.
One of your best defenses against COVID is a strong immune system. Taking GSH Plus as a daily supplement does all that. And now we have the product out on the marketplace.